Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. That is a massive win. That is a game that at the beginning, when the draw was made, I was like, I want us to win our home games and then maybe win at Lens and then maybe pick up a point away at Sevilla and hopefully not lose at PSV as well. But going to Sevilla and picking up a win, that is not easy at all. That is quite hard to do. That is definitely quite hard to do. And you saw it, like the last 10, 15 minutes, or actually the last like 25 minutes, we really had to hold on. We literally really had to hold on. That was not easy at all. They could easily have gotten an equalizer. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know what you made of the game. We got a win. That is all that matters. We got the win. I mean, this game, it was never going to be 4-0 or 5-0. This is a game that I'm actually hearing some Arsenal fans saying this is a game where they would have taken a draw. And in terms of individual performances here and there, the likes of Jesus, it was way better than it was against Chelsea. Declan Rice, once again, absolutely amazing. Like, oh my goodness. Like that, I still can't believe, like some of you are saying Declan Rice is being overpaid for. I really want to know, for the people who are saying Gabriel Jesus, Declan Rice, we are overpaying for Declan Rice. Do you still think we overpaid for Declan Rice? Like every single game. Like that is like a 200 million player, let alone a 105 million player. That is a 200 million player right there. Absolutely amazing from Declan Rice once again. We got the win. That is all that matters. Obviously, at the beginning of the game, obviously a few people are not happy about Jorginho starting. A few people are not happy about Raya starting. Some people are like, Odegaard needs to be dropped to something. Trossard, some people wanted him to start. Some people are happy that Tomiyasu started. So I'm just glad we got the win. That is not an easy game at all. And now we are top of the table, 6 points. And once again, the other teams in our groups have drawn. So things are going our way in terms of that. Like whenever we lose, the other team draws. Whenever we win, the other team draws. So that puts us in a very advantageous position. Meaning if we beat Sevilla at our place, we literally even just need to even draw it Lens at home just to go through. If we beat Sevilla and Lens at home, we are basically through, and we are going into the last game against PSV only needing a draw, and doesn't really matter. So I'm pretty happy we got the win. 2-1 win against Sevilla away from home. The moment you get on the pitch, or the moment you saw the players getting on the pitch, you saw the atmosphere, like the fans, the energy, the flags, like everything. That's a very scary atmosphere, very scary atmosphere. So if you're not careful, you can easily lose there. And that is a Sevilla team. They're actually Europa League champions right now, by the way. They won the Europa League last season, Sevilla. And obviously, last season they beat Man United. I think the previous season they gave Man City a game as well. So they're not an easy team to play, Sevilla. And you saw the kind of experience they have. World Cup winner Sergio Ramos, multiple-time Champions League winner Ramos. They have Acuna, World Cup winner as well. They have the experience of Rakitic, another player who's won the Champions League before. They have the experience of Jesus Navas. Like, they have a lot of players who are very experienced in that team. And we have a lot of young players. Today was Martinelli's first game in the Champions League. Saka is just his third game in the Champions League. Declan Rice, just his third game in the Champions League. So I'm really happy with that performance. That is a performance where you need energy, you need a lot of like your mentality needs to be perfect for a game like this, because you're not going to dominate it. You're going to have to survive. They're going to hit the post. They're going to have a couple of corners. You're going to survive. They're going to foul you. They're going to hit you all over the place. You're just going to have to survive throughout the game, and that is what we did today. And we've picked up a win against Sevilla, and that going into the next few games, that is a huge win. So let me know what you made of the game, and let's get to the team news. Today's team news. Hopefully I got the right one on screen. Yeah, that is the right one. So our lineup today, we had David Raya in goal. We had a back four of Tomiyasu, Gabriel Saliba, and Ben White. Ben White actually did not start the last Champions League game against Lens, but he started this one. Gabriel and Saliba, we all know, we all want both of them to start. No surprises there. Tomiyasu starting at left back. Atita actually had us with that one. Most people wanted Tomiyasu to start instead of Zinchenko for this one, because we need to defend a lot today. Midfield, we went to Jorginho. With Jorginho, sorry, Partey is injured again. Partey is injured again. Like, he got injured again. Like, has even played. He's not even started any game and he's already injured. Like, that is, to be honest, I do feel like this season is Partey's last season at Arsenal, so I don't think he's going to be here anyway because of his age and because of his injuries and stuff. We definitely have to look for a couple of midfielders. By the time we get into next season, we have to have someone else in midfield next to Rice and Odegaard, and someone else on the bench as well, because Jorginho and Partey, they're past 30, they're heading into their mid-30s, and obviously Partey's injuries are too many. Like, he gets injured way too many times. You can't really depend on him for like 5. Last season, I was really happy that Partey remained fit, because he rarely plays like 10 games in a row. You can't depend on him for that. But Jorginho started in midfield today next to Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, and then up front we went with Martinelli, Saka, and Gabriel Jesus. Personally, I had some people saying Jesus needs to be on the bench for this one. Start Havertz, start Trossard up front. A lot of people are suggesting that, but no, I wanted Jesus to start. Remember, in the first game he scored. In the second game he also scored in both games. So that is 3 games out of 3 games, 3 goals for Gabriel Jesus. So that is experience we needed. Jesus, we were talking about, we need players who have played in the Champions League before to help us, at least in the group stage and for our first Champions League season back. And Jesus is doing that. Like, the 3 games in the Champions League so far, he scored in all of them. And then on the bench, we went to Ramsdale, Karl-Heinz, Kivio, Zinchenko, Cedric, Elneny, Havertz, Vieira, Trossard, Smith-Rowe, Nelson, and Nketiah. So that was the lineup. Obviously disappointed not to see Partey in the lineup, and unfortunately he is injured again. Hopefully it doesn't keep him out for too long. My prediction before the game was Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2, so I got that one spot on. We didn't expect it to be that hard. I actually didn't even expect us to go 2 goals up. I thought maybe you're going to score, and then Sevilla score, and then we score maybe in the second half, but we actually got a 2-0 lead, and I was hoping that 2-goal lead will like stretch until like the 70th minute, but we conceded almost immediately, and for the rest of the 30 minutes you're going to have to defend a lot, and that's exactly what you needed to do. But let's start with the first few minutes of the game. Tomiyasu had a shot in the 5th minute, and then Martinelli had his first chance of the game, 1-on-1 against the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, hit it straight to the goalkeeper. I usually bank on Martinelli to score those 1-on-1 chances. I usually feel like if you give Martinelli and Saka 10 1-on-1 chances, I feel like Martinelli is going to score more. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who do you think would score more between Saka and Martinelli 1-on-1 chances? I feel like Martinelli has like a variety of finishes. Like, he can chip the goalkeeper, he can go past the goalkeeper, he can slot it past the goalkeeper, he can go with the Thierry Henry Adebayo kind of far post finish. I think he has a lot of finishes, but he did miss that one. And I was actually so sad that Martinelli missed that chance at the beginning of the game, because I know when you're playing a game like this away from home against Sevilla, you're not going to get so many chances. And you don't want to allow them to take the lead in the game. So you get the chance in the first 10 minutes, you have to try and score it, and you're not going to get many. And you didn't actually get many. But Martinelli missed that one, unfortunately, and it remained 0-0. Jesus also had a shot off target. And literally the rest of the first half, from the 20th minute to the 45th minute, it was a lot of fouls, and we didn't really test their goalkeeper. They didn't really test our goalkeeper. Jorginho made a mistake and almost cost us. And Nesri almost scored. That is a player who played for Morocco, a team that did very well in the World Cup, and I expected him to take that chance. I usually see him as a threat from aerial balls, but he got that chance, and it just passed just a little bit past the far post, and that would have meant one. That would have been 1-0 to them. But luckily, right after, we got a 1-on-1 chance again. Gabriel Jesus is not good enough. Gabriel Jesus cannot do anything for you. Jesus does not give anything to Arsenal. Are you serious? Like, I usually don't. That is one thing that I definitely never agree with the Arsenal fans who say Jesus is not good enough. I definitely not agree with that. Like, at the beginning of the campaign, when you're in the transfer window, people are saying sign a striker, and I was like, nah, I still want Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus to start for us up front. Is he the most clinical striker in the world? No. But the kind of game that Jesus plays for us, like, we can even put him in the number 10 position. He can do things for us. Like, let's look at Jesus the last 3-4 games. Some people are still not satisfied. But tell me how well Jesus played on the right side against Man City. He was one of the best players in that game. Some games, yes, he does not play well, but that applies to everyone. Like, if you look at Chelsea game, like, almost everyone did not play well. If you look at the Everton game, it was a bit iffy until Trossard scored. Like, some games, people don't play well. It's like 9-10 players who don't play well. But Jesus today, once again, even if he didn't score in the second half, he would have probably been a contender for man of the match, because of the energy he gives us and the touch for that Martinelli goal, the way he just like turned and left the 2 defenders running to the other side and just cut to this other side. And the quick thinking, he didn't just like turn and then hold up the ball and try and look at where Martinelli was. No, it is right away instinct. He turned away and he knows Martinelli is making the run, and he gives such a well-timed pass. It wasn't too long, it wasn't too short, and he timed it perfectly. And Martinelli to make that run absolutely amazing. And the Martinelli finish was absolutely amazing because he had just missed a one-on-one chance, so he could easily miss that. Every Arsenal fan was holding their breath, and Martinelli went through one-on-one. Now, as I've just said, when Martinelli goes one-on-one, I expect him to score because he can chip the goalkeeper, he can shoot with his left, he can shoot with his right, he can go past the goalkeeper, and that's exactly what he did. Reminder, that is Martinelli's first game in the Champions League ever. So believe me, like, he doesn't care about that situation, man. Like, you'd have thought that is a player who's played for 3-4 seasons, like, because the fans were like cheering him when he was going through. A player is running behind you, and I've had top strikers talking, Michael Owen, Thierry Henry, all of them. They usually say when they go one-on-one against a goalkeeper, like, it's so easy to miss because you're thinking, okay, what should I do? I have so much time. Should I go past the goalkeeper? Should I shoot the ball? Should I chip the goalkeeper? Should I wait for the goalkeeper to commit? Should I wait for another player to come so that I can pass to them? A lot of decisions come to your mind, but Martinelli had already made his decision like when the goalkeeper started coming out, and he went past him, and what a finish that was to give us the lead. Gabriel Martinelli, his first Champions League game, first Champions League goal, just like Saka against PSV, first Champions League game, first Champions League goal. You love to see it. Well done to Gabriel Martinelli, superb finish, and that is exactly what you need to do, score before halftime. Over the years, even if you go back to the 2000s and 2010s, how many times did you see Arsenal conceding right before halftime? So many times. It is good to do it yourself because all of a sudden you change the halftime team talk for the other team. And if the managers from maybe thinking about making a change or two, maybe things can change now, and Sevilla will try and attack in the second half, and you can get a second goal like we did. So 1-0 at halftime. This is actually the first time in quite a long while I've been like, okay, we can keep the same team, because if we had Partey on the bench, maybe I'd say bring on Partey for Jorginho. But yes, I know Jorginho lost the ball like 2 or 3 times in that midfield, but there's a couple of times you could see like they were controlling the midfield well, especially that last 25, 30 minutes, apart from the time he gave away the ball. You need a player who can hold the ball in midfield, and he can pick a pass. So I think he did that well. We didn't really have anyone to bring on. We couldn't really bring on an attacker because we were 1-0 up, unless we would have brought in El Neni for Jorginho, which doesn't really make sense at this time. So unless Partey was there, I would have brought in Partey. But 1-0 at halftime, second half, 10 minutes into the second, Odegaard actually had a chance in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Yes, Odegaard is my favorite player, but I definitely have to admit, we have to be fair in every single player ratings and everything. I'll talk about him later. Today was a bit quiet as well, and few poor decisions. I don't know if he's played too many games, he needs to be rested for 2 games or something. Yeah, but a couple of decisions where Odegaard usually makes the right decision, he's been making the wrong decisions lately. And today, that chance in front of goal on your left foot, even if the ball bobbles or anything like that, you have to at least put it on target. He missed it, and then 10 minutes later, Gabriel Jesus again, the striker that apparently does not score goals, the guy who has scored in every single Champions League game for us this season. What a goal, man. Like, that is not in terms of XG, that could be like 0.20 or something, because that is not a good chance like to score. That is a chance that Jesus created for himself, and what a fantastic finish from the right side. That is one of I think that is his best performance this season, maybe alongside the Man City game. That is a superb finish. Personally, for me, I 100% love Gabriel Jesus. I was even asking myself, yes, I want the players like Tony to come. I know he's going to bring something different to Arsenal and the finishing and all. But I'm still like, okay, even if Tony comes in January, do I leave Jesus on the bench? I'm not sure, man. I really love Jesus being in that starting lineup. We missed him last season when he was injured. And this, you can see how much he gives us in a game like this. And he does not stay like in the central position waiting for the ball. No, he's on the left side, he's on the right side, he's dribbling, he's getting into tussles, he can shoot his left foot, right foot. I think in terms of footballers, I think he's one of the best footballers we have in the team alongside Odegaard, like just people who can dribble and get past players and get involved in everything. I think it's pretty good in terms of that, Gabriel Jesus. So what a finish to make it 2-0. And from that point on, I was really happy because going to Sevilla, even getting a 2-goal lead, that is crazy. I'm sure, like, if you were to ask Atta before the game, do you want a draw? Would you be happy with the draw? I'm sure he'd actually say yes, because that is not an easy game. I watched Sevilla on Saturday playing against Real Madrid. They drew 1-1. So they're not an easy team to play against. They've actually just appointed a new manager. They have been poor, but their manager has been sacked. But as I say, their team, Ramos, Rakitic, these are players who've won the Champions League. Jesus Navas, Acuna as well, a World Cup winner recently for Argentina. All those players are really, really good. So you have to be careful with them. They have the talent in the team. But what you don't need to do after going 2 goals up is to concede right after. That is what you don't need to do. And that is the mistake we made. We gave away a corner and they scored from it. I think the last 2 seasons, I think Arsenal has the best record in terms of scoring from set pieces, corners, I think. Unless we've gone down second or something, I'm sure we are top of that list in terms of scoring corners. And there's a season, I think 2021, 2022, we didn't concede a corner until like March or something, until like Southampton scored and beat us in that game in 2021, 2022 season. And last season as well, we had a good record in terms of corners until like we started conceding a few against Southampton again, against Lisandro Martinez. And this season as well, is that like the 3rd corner or something we are conceding? I definitely remember we conceded a corner against Fulham. That is what cost us that game. And today as well. So I don't know. I think it was Jesus who was marking the near post, and I'm not sure about Jesus marking like tall players like that. But Sevilla got a goal back to make it 2-1, and that was a very early. That was very early to concede right away. You still have 30 minutes to go, and if I was thinking about changes or anything like that, or try to settle the game, they've already scored, and that gives them even more energy. They're going to go for it even more. They're going to press even more. They're going to try to get a second goal, and from that point on, Raya made a very good save. I think it was eventually ruled as a handball, but the shot that hit the post, Raya made a very good save from that. And then Declan Rice, please let me know if you saw Declan Rice running from our box to their box. 105 million bargain. Like, this guy is incredible. Like, I was so mad at Odegaard and Saka, because Odegaard, I think, ran offside and Saka tried to shoot when he had like 3 people in front of him. That is what Declan Rice does for you. He can pick the ball. I still see people saying Declan Rice cannot like take you from box to box. What do you mean? Declan Rice can play in the number 6. He can play in the number 8 position. And believe me, he can also play as the number 10. It's just because he's been playing for West Ham, so he's not really been showing his attacking qualities. But you saw his finish against Chelsea the other day. I remember the time he played against Crystal Palace. There's a chance that Ketia missed. It was a pass from Declan Rice. Like, he has those qualities to pick out the pass and shoot from outside the box and to make the run. So if you put him in that box to box like he was playing today, he has that energy to just pick the ball and just run past players. He went past like 3-4 players, which is incredible. There's no one talking about Declan Rice's price right now. Why? Because he's absolutely like, he's worth every single penny. Like, I actually feel maybe West Ham are right. You know, the time they were saying, nah, you're not, maybe so. Yeah, actually, if you'd have gotten Declan Rice for 70 million, that is a steal. I actually do see why West Ham said, nope, we want 100 plus million or get out of here. There's even a time they were talking about maybe 115, 120 million. He's worth every single penny. Some people are saying, no, don't pay 100 million unless it's a striker. For me personally, yes, a striker will score you goals. Obviously, need goals to win games. But if you don't have a midfield, if you don't have a spine in the team, if you don't have an engine in the team, it's well and good to have wingers, the rims and a good-looking steering wing and all that, steering wheel and all that. But you have to have an engine in the car for the car to work. And Declan Rice is the engine of this team. And that 105 million is worth every single penny, man. Like, it's absolutely incredible. I think that is one of the best signings. I think I'd put him straight away in the top right away after 10, 15 games in the top 5 signings in the Emirates era. Like, on top there with Ozil and Alexis Sanchez and Aubameyang is like on that list already. And this is after 10 games. Because we've lacked midfielders like this. Xhaka played in the number 6 role in his first 2-3 years at Arsenal, and he was not good enough. He was committing fouls, he's picking up yellow cards, red cards. He moved to the number 8 position. He played really well for us. Partey has been okay for us in the number 6, but getting a player who can play both positions so effortlessly, that is so hard to say. Rice is incredible in terms of that. So what a signing. And I really hope he can stay fit for the whole season, because Partey is injured again. if we didn't have Declan Rice, if this was last season and we didn't have Declan Rice, that midfield would have had Jorginho and Elneny, and things are totally different. No disrespect to Xhaka or Elneny or even Partey, all those guys, but that run that Declan Rice made from our box to their box, can you see Elneny doing that? I don't think so. Can you see Jorginho doing that? I don't think so. I don't even see Partey. I can't see Partey doing that. Like from this box to that box, that is difficult. And he has the power, he has the physicality, he has the body shape to just run past players. Declan Rice is amazing. If you don't know, I already like Declan Rice. That is already obvious now. We made our first sub in the 72nd minute. Havertz coming on for Odegaard, and then basically nothing happened for the next 10 minutes. And then Ketty and Trossard came on for Jesus and Saka. I hope Jesus is not injured because it looked like he was holding his hamstring. These games are tough. Luckily, we've played Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, but the games that are coming up, next week we have West Ham away in the Carabao Cup. That is not an easy game. And then after that, we have Newcastle away. Newcastle these days is like Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. Like you don't want to play Newcastle these days. That's like they're a very good team. So we need players like Jesus in those kind of games. So hopefully it was just and like being tired and stuff. So against Sheffield United this weekend, we can't underestimate them and say, let's rest 5-6 players, rest Saka, rest Martinelli, rest Saliba. No. But I think we need to rest like 2 players. That game against Sheffield, it depends. I want us to win the Carabao Cup this season. So I don't want us to go to that West Ham game and play the entire second team. No. For me, I think we can beat, no disrespect to Sheffield United, but I think we can beat Sheffield United. If we make 2 changes, we can still beat them. So probably my 2 changes for that game. I don't know how serious Partey's injury is, but I'd be very tempted to rest Declan Rice for that game against Sheffield United. I know, listen, Declan Rice is not a player who needs to be rested. Like he plays a lot of games. I think last time he played like 50, 60 games for West Ham. He's a player who can play every single game. And I don't know if he's going to start against his former team away from home. But if you're to ask me, I mean, Saka is just back, so I guess he's been rested for the past 3 weeks. So I don't know if we need to rest him against Sheffield. Maybe take him off early. That is something I would do. But against Sheffield United, if Jesus has a knock, I wouldn't play him in that game. And I'm also kind of thinking, who else? Saliba didn't go for the international break, so I think it's okay to start. So I would rest Declan Rice. Declan Rice would rest for me. The second one, I'm not sure. Maybe Saka, I don't know. I think against Sheffield United, even if you rest Saka, we can still win the game. So Declan Rice is the obvious one that I would try to rest because Saliba did not go for the international break. So he rested for 2 weeks. Gabriel, maybe start Kivio for that one, maybe 1 game against Sheffield. But then again, we have Carabao Cup after that, so there's no problem with Gabriel resting in that one. But as I said, I don't want us to play against West Ham in the Carabao Cup and rest everyone. I want us to win that trophy. Man City are out, so we have a huge chance of winning that trophy. But let's get back to this particular game. From the 80th minute to the 90th minute, it was pressure after pressure after pressure. Raya made a good save, I think, in the 85th minute, but there's a time he was trying to punch the ball and it went behind him instead of in front of him. If that ended up in the goal, oh, you best believe the media would have been talking about it all day. This whole week, it's been Raya, Ramsdale, like they have content. They have content to talk about Raya and Ramsdale. But Raya looked shaky a few times today. But I was happy with how he handled the corners and the free kicks, like the aerial balls. He was handling them well and coming out of his goal line and grabbing them and wasting time. I like that. But we almost conceded from that. So they added 6 minutes again, more pressure. But in a game like this against Sevilla, you have to show your mental your mentality like we showed last season. We need to show it. We have a young team, but you go to Sevilla, last 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you're going to be under the cosh. You need to defend. And we have a lot of young players in this team, but a few experienced ones as well. And we managed to hold them out and to win the game 2-1. And that is a big win because that takes us to top of the table, and Lens and PSV drew once again. So that is a huge benefit for us. We are now on 6 points. Lens are on 5. And I think the other teams are both on 2, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so next 2 games are at home. So we've already dealt with the 2 away games that were tough, so Lens and Sevilla. I don't want us to go to the PSV game still trying to go through, because that will be difficult. So win your next 2 games and we're already through. If we win our next 2 games, you're already through, and you don't even really need to win against PSV. So really, really happy that result. That is a good way to bounce back from the Chelsea game. We didn't perform well against the Chelsea game, but we were able to come back from behind and draw the game 2-2. And it's still one loss the whole season. So going into the Sheffield United game, I've looked at the goal difference and everything for the other teams. There's a chance we could be top of the table this week. I've predicted that we will be top of the table by the next international break. But Man City are playing against Man United. I don't know. Man United usually draw with Man City or beat them or something, but I would probably predict a Man City win. But if Man City drop points in that game, Tottenham are going to Crystal Palace. Even if they draw that game and we beat Sheffield United, we are going to go top of the table. But our goal difference, that is what we need to cover in that game. Newcastle were able to beat them 8-0. We need to go, it is at our place. We need to be in that game and be lethal in that game. 4-0, 5-0. Be clinical, be ruthless, and win that game by many goals. That's exactly what you need to do. But let me know what you guys made of today's game before I come to the player ratings. Musa says, yes, if you're talking about the Rice price, actually is more than that, because by now, even these that are saying his value isn't up to that, I have to understand. They have understood already. I think people are now starting to see how important getting Declan Rice was. Now, have you seen the way Declan Rice has played today? Have you seen the way he has played against Man United, against Man City, against Chelsea? This guy was close to joining Man City. If Declan Rice had joined Man City, would have already forgotten about the Premier League title a long time ago. Like if Declan Rice is playing behind Haaland and Alvarez and Foden, it is game over for you. Like that is a signing we had to make, and I'm so happy that Edu and Atta got that through the across the line. Because if Rice was playing for Man City right now, we might as well forget about winning any trophies anytime soon, because that is a fantastic player. Let's see. What's funny to me is also available for Ghana, but Arsenal is not, says Ayobami. I heard that he got injured in training, so I don't understand. Oh my goodness, Copenhagen missed a penalty in the last minute. What? Oh, Man United are always so lucky. They always say Arsenal are lucky, but look at Man United, always lucky every single game. Thank you, Ayobami. Let's see. Top fan here. I'm happy about the Arsenal great performance, especially away, says like our away performances are really, really good. Our away performances are really good. I give Tomiyasu 9 out of 10. He defended well. Tomiyasu is a monster. Like I'm so happy he's fit right now. Hopefully he can stay fit, because we are missing Timber. Like the reason why Timber is a very good signing, obviously. The reason why we're not missing him as much as I feared, like the first day. Obviously, we're still missing him, because I remember I almost cried when I heard that he's injured. It's because Tomiyasu is still fit. Because if Tomiyasu is not there, then we are having to play Zinchenko every single game. So that is a worry. Let's see. It was an amazing game for my Arsenal for life. I really thank God for today's game, says Titus. Let me come to the player rating and take one more. Thank you for the super chat, RK. She says happy with the win. Awesome live. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Diana says, Glenn, where have you been? I've been here. I always stream after every single game. Happy for the boys. 6 points, top of the group. Yeah, and our next 2 games are at home. So that is quite much needed. Mashek says West Ham should come and Arsenal add 45 to make 150 million. I think we need to. I definitely think we need to. He is worth every single penny. Like the reason why no one is talking about him, everyone is talking about Mount at Man United. Everyone is talking about Havertz. People are talking about Onana, about Raya. People have been talking about Modric since January. The reason why they've been talking about all those players is because they've not been doing incredibly well like people expected. But players like Rice, no one is talking about his price because of how he's performing. Like people I've had Tottenham fans talking, Man United fans talking, and some people have actually voted him the best signing of the season so far. Bellingham, for me, Bellingham is number 1 in terms of best signings this season. There's a striker at Stuttgart. If you follow the Bundesliga, he's scoring every single week. I think is a good signing as well. But I really love Declan Rice as well. So let's go to the player ratings. Let's start with David Raya. First half, there's a couple of times he gave away the ball. Though I still say I'm the biggest Ramsdale fan, as you already know. I didn't want him to be dropped in the first place, but I'm not the one who's going to start. I'm not the kind to start saying, "Nah, I'll see what I was telling you, Raya, take him out, bring round." Nah, I still feel like both of them are good goalkeepers. Mistakes are going to happen, especially if you're playing from the back. A couple of times it worked. A couple of times it looked a bit shaky. He almost gave away a goal today. Second half, he was punching the ball. It almost turned out to be an own goal, but he still made a couple of good saves. We didn't keep a clean sheet. It's going to always be so hard to rate these players, the likes of David Raya and Havertz and all these guys. I'm going to give David Raya for today a 6 out of 10. I would play Ramsdale for the next two games. Obviously, he's going to play in the Carabao Cup, but before that, I don't think you can just bring him back after he's been on the bench for like 5-6 games. I'd like to see Ramsdale for the next two games. Let's see how he does. I'd give Raya a 6 out of 10 for today. Center backs, Gabriel and Saliba. Oh, Saliba is just incredible, man. Like, what a player. There's a time he was like surrounded by like two, three players, and the way he just made the turn. This guy is just incredibly amazing, man. Like, I'm so happy he returned to Arsenal because there was a chance that Declan Rice. I'm still dreaming of Declan Rice. There's a chance that Saliba would not have been playing for Arsenal. He was this close to leaving, and it would have been a disaster. So I am going to give Saliba a 7 out of 10 for today. 7 out of 10 for William Saliba for today. If I can find his name has disappeared for some reason. I think I would give the same to Gabriel. So I think both center backs deserve around the same. 7 for both of them. Just write it down. He did good defending. We didn't keep a clean sheet. I usually give them an extra point for a clean sheet, but for today, I think he was okay in a couple of situations for sure. And they were putting in a lot of crosses. We lost a couple of them. They almost scored from them, but I think Gabriel and Saliba cleared a couple of them. I've not taken a look at the stats. You're always advisable to take a look at the stats as well. You might miss a few things, but I'll definitely rewatch the game and see what I missed. But I'm sure they did clear a few shots here and there. So I am going to give Gabriel and Saliba 7 out of 10. Ben White, I think he was better than what he was against how he was against Chelsea. The white hair is all over the place, but I think it's a 7 out of 10 as well. Unless did I miss something that Ben White did? I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I don't think it was like 8, 9, 10 kind of amazing performance, but I don't think it was bad, like average 5, 6. We conceded only one goal, and I think most of it defended well. I'm sure most of these players lost the ball here and there, White, and I think I saw Gabriel giving away the ball once or something, but I'm going to give White a 7. Tomiyasu is not going to get a 7. Tomiyasu is incredible. Again, our players I just love our players so much these days because, Tomiyasu is not a left back. Ben White is not a right back, but they're playing those positions so well we don't even notice because like they're so effortlessly playing. I'm not going to try and say that word again. Effortlessly playing that position, both of them. I'm going to give Tomiyasu an 8 out of 10 for today. I think he was amazing, clearing the ball, going forward. He actually almost scored in the first 5 minutes of the game. I think he did pretty well. Very, very good performance. If you need a solid defender there, like for games like this, Sevilla away, Tomiyasu. If you need to attack and everything, obviously Zinchenko is incredible on the ball. But a game like this where they're going to put in crosses and all that, Tomiyasu is better. So 8 out of 10 for him. I think that is fine enough for the defenders. Next up, midfield, Declan Rice. Declan Rice was so good, man. For just that run that he made from box to box, that is already an extra point. Let me see. So far, I've given him a 7. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think he was great. The other games I've given him 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 against Man City and Man United. I think I gave him 8 against Chelsea. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for today as well. Declan Rice, such a good signing. I already talked about him a lot. Such a good signing. I don't know where we can rest him because he's played a lot of games and he's played for England as well recently. Maybe you can get a chance to rest this weekend or rest against West Ham, whichever. 8 out of 10 for him. Jorginho. As I said, I know he lost the ball. There's 2 times I think he lost the ball today. Jorginho, one of them almost cost us the goal. The El Nesri shot in the first half that was so close to being a goal for them. I think he also picked up a yellow card. Jorginho today. I mean, he wasn't good in a couple of situations, but a couple of situations again, he was okay next to Declan Rice. I wasn't the greatest. If I was giving halves, I would give him a 6.5, but I'm just going to give him a 6. If one of them had cost us a goal, then this would have been lower. So 6 out of 10 for him. Odegaard. Oh man, Odegaard. Odegaard. I've been giving Odegaard like he's my best Arsenal player. Last season and earlier this season, I was giving him 9, 10, 8. But as I said, we have to be honest. People are usually very in terms of very harsh in terms of criticizing Havertz and Ketty and Zinchenko and all those players. So we have to be fair in terms of criticizing our best players. I don't need White or Odegaard or Saka to be dropped because I feel like they have enough credit in the bank. Even if Saka plays badly twice in a row, I'd still tell him, you know what, just start because you still usually manage to get an assist or a goal here and there. There's some players who, if they play poorly, they don't really have credit in the bank. You're like, now you've gotten your chance, stay on the bench. But Odegaard today again, a bit quiet. He had a chance right in front of goal on his left foot. He put it off target. That was a very I would assume that is an easy chance for him. There's a couple of times in the last game against Chelsea, in this game against Chelsea, he made a very good run, but Rice did not pass the ball to him. Rice was supposed to pass the ball to him, then I'm sure he would have scored from that. And today as well, there's a time he made a very good run. I think it was Saka or Martinelli, one of them. You just cut the ball for Odegaard, he would have scored from there. So some people are not picking him out. But he was subbed off today. He usually doesn't get subbed off. So if you see him getting subbed off like he did against Chelsea and today, he wasn't great. I think it was an average performance for Odegaard, and this is my best player. So this is shocking for me to give him this. So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. That is average. It is a tough game today. You don't expect to dominate position and everything like that, but I do expect to see more in a game like this, controlling things. So 5 out of 10. I might be wrong. I'll watch the game again. Maybe I missed a few passes from him and things like that, but 5 out of 10 for him. Next up is Bukayo Saka. The other two forwards are definitely better than Saka today. He didn't score, he didn't assist. He made a few bad decisions today, Saka. There's 2 or 3 times he had a chance to like relax on the ball or pass or try to go on your right foot, and he was trying to shoot with 3 players in front of him. He did that like 2 or 3 times today. He was getting fouled a lot by Sergio Ramos and Acuna, those experienced players. Saka for today, I mean, I did see him more than I saw Odegaard, so I don't think I'm going to give him a 5. I think that is a bit low. Let me know. There's 2 players I really want to know your ratings for today, Odegaard and Saka. What did you give Odegaard and also Saka? I'm going to give Saka 6 out of 10 for today. Gabriel Martinelli. I also don't know who assisted Jesus' goal. It was him doing all the work, but who assisted Jesus' goal? Because it was all his work pretty much. Let me just see. Jesus. It was Declan Rice. I didn't even know that. I've just seen right now. Declan Rice also got an assist. I didn't even take that into consideration in the ratings. Martinelli for today, what a good goal. He missed a very good chance at the beginning of the game. I think he need to score that, because you don't get that many chances in such a game. But for the rest of the game, I think he was okay. Made some good runs, held up the ball well, and very good finish in the first half. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for today, Gabriel Martinelli. Maybe it could be a 7, but it was a very good finish, so 8 out of 10. It was his first Champions League game as well, so I'm just going to give him an extra point for that. It was his first game. If you're just joining, hit the like button. I'll really appreciate it. I never ask for that. 8 out of 10 for Martinelli today. Gabriel Jesus, the player who is not good enough for Arsenal. Arsenal need to sell Gabriel Jesus. He scored in every single Champions League game so far, and I wanted him to start today for that reason. For sure, his energy, his work rate, even in that second half, he was totally finished. When he went down with the injury, you could tell like he's just been running the whole game. He scored a very good goal. An absolutely incredible assist for the Martinelli goal. I think Jesus was absolutely incredible today. In the Champions League, he's scored for us in all 3 games so far. Hopefully it's not a serious injury. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 for today, probably our man of the match. I will put a poll for that. I think he played well. I think Declan Rice played well, and Martinelli. So there's a couple of players who could be man of the match. So Jesus gets a 9 out of 10. From the bench, Havertz, wasn't on for too long. He got us a few free kicks. I'm just going to give him a 6 out of 10. Who else? I saw people complaining about him making safe passes and not taking risks. 6 out of 10 for him. Who else came on? Trossard, he came on with 10 minutes remaining. I mean, he won us a couple of corners, if I'm not wrong. There's a couple of situations he did look a bit weak, if I'm not wrong. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 as well. Made a few good runs. Ketia. I don't know. You know that situation where he got the ball on the left side and then we wanted him to run to the corner and then he was just budged like this and he fell to the ground and lost the ball. I need him to be better in that kind of situation. When you've come on fresh from the bench, you need to be better than that. You need to hold up the ball for us, waste a bit of time. You can't just like lose the ball that easily. And he also came on and committed a couple of fouls. The one thing I don't like about there's 3 players, Jesus, Havertz, and Ketia. I feel like they usually commit too many fouls and needless fouls. I see them committing too many fouls, needless as well. I'm just going to give Ketia 5 out of 10. Just average. He wasn't on for too long. Kivio didn't play for too long. Maybe I think he cleared maybe 1 ball, so I'm just going to give him a 5 out of 10. I think those are all the subs that we made. I'm really hoping the next 2 games we see Fabio Vieira, we see Smith Rowe, we see Kivio more, especially those 3 players. I want Havertz to start one of those games. I need to see if he's improved something after being on the bench for 3-4 games. I also want to see Trossard maybe starting one of those games. Let's see how they do. Reece Nelson as well, want to see him. The players that we haven't seen also a lot. And Ramsdale as well. Mikel Arteta, I'm going to give him tough away game. We went there, scored 2 goals. We didn't really keep a clean sheet. But in a game like, I think we had like 14 or 15 shots. I think that is good. Very tough away game. We bounced back from the Lens defeat and from the Chelsea draw. So I am going to give Mikel Arteta an 8 out of 10 for today. Starting lineup. Forward, I didn't have a problem with Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus. In the middle, maybe Jorginho would say, but Partey's not there, so there's nothing much we can do, especially if you want to go for a holding midfield and play Declan Rice as the 8. There's not too many options to play there unless you start El Neni, so there's nothing much you can do there. Subs, Havertz for Odegaard. Yeah, Odegaard was not good in this game. Nketiah for Jesus. Jesus was injured, so you had to do that. Trossard, Saka, don't mind that. And Kivio came on later on. So I'm just going to give him an 8 out of 10. I don't think there's too many standards in terms of subs, and he made a mistake in terms of subbing out a player or anything like that. So I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for today, Mikel Arteta. Let me know your man of the match. I'm so glad that you've gotten this win today. One of the matches, Tommy, I'll also put him on the poll. So make sure to check the YouTube in after I finish this, in 10 minutes, I'll put a poll for that. Tomiyasu will be there. Rice will be there. Jesus will be there. Tomiyasu gets a 10, says that tactical. I don't care if we considered he was the reason we won that game. He's incredible. Tactical says, what's wrong with Odegaard, Glenn? I'm not sure, man. There's one game that I watched. I don't remember which particular game. It was a home game, and I had Ian Wright talking about it, and I had I think it was Owen Hargreaves talking about it, and they showed the tactical analysis and everything. Those games he was marked out of the game. He had 2 or 3 players. Whenever he got the ball, there's 2 or 3 players marking him. Sometimes that creates space for the the players on the wing, the players up front, and all that. But that is not the only issue. If it was that, I'd be like, you know what? Okay, they're respecting him, and he's getting 3 or 4 players marking him in a game. The time he's get a chance, that is fine. But my problem is a couple of decisions, passes. The last game and today, and also against Man City, there's a couple of passes that Odegaard usually picks out so easily. He gets a chance and he just passes the ball, and he's losing those passes and he's rushing a few things here and there. I don't like seeing Odegaard like that. And a couple of shots as well. Against Man City, he was shooting the ball over the bar 2-3 times. Today as well, over the bar. He's the captain, so you expect him to be very good. I don't expect these players to be good every single game. That is what I've taught myself to understand. I don't expect Saka and Odegaard and all these players to be good every single game. It is a while when they're not good for 4 or 5 games. Maybe it would be good for him, like against Sheffield, maybe leave him on the bench, start Fabio and then bring him back in the next game, maybe rest him. Maybe he has played too many games, I don't know, but few misplaced passes, a few poor decisions here and there, and a couple of games where he's been very quiet, like against Lens and against Chelsea as well the other days. That is too quiet for Odegaard. I need him to be more involved. And every time Odegaard is not involved in the game, and Saka is also not involved, then we are usually in trouble because we usually depend on those two players a lot. So hopefully he picks up. Maybe I would maybe rest him against Sheffield and then bring him back in the next game. Hopefully the rest will help him or something like that. And I feel like we have players who maybe deserve one game for Vieira-Smith to at least play them. And let's see. You don't have to start Odegaard and Saka and Martinelli every single game. Give the players on the bench one opportunity because I don't think Odegaard deserves to start next game. That is what I'm saying. So I know the captain might start or has to start. I don't think they have to start. Guardiola rotates players here and there. So I would rest him for the Sheffield game. And then maybe bring him back for West Ham or for Newcastle after that. He played really well against Newcastle. Now, the one thing I don't agree with is people saying Odegaard does not perform in big games. That is a lie. He scored against Chelsea last season. He scored against Newcastle. He scored against Tottenham. He scored against Man United this season. He scored against all those teams. I think he assisted against Liverpool last season. So he still does well in those games. But yes, the last 2-3 games has been way too quiet. I need him to be more involved in the game. And I would actually be tempted to leave him on the bench for the Sheffield game and play Smith Rowe or Fabio Vieira. Please, what is wrong with Partey, says Julius. Atisa said that he picked up an injury in training. Sad times, man. Obviously, you can't depend on Partey. We know that. So that is why we signed Declan Rice. That is one of the reasons we signed him. And that is why I don't agree with people saying, sell Jorginho right now. You can't sell him because Partey is always injured. So if Partey is not there and if Jorginho is not there, then who do you play? Because Elneny is just coming back from a serious injury as well. Unless we start teaching Ben White can play as a midfielder, but he's been playing well as right back, so we don't need to change that. Odegaard and Jorginho get a 4. Jorginho is not good enough. He's holding back Rice from his potential on the pitch. Saka gets a 5. Jorginho gave away. The problem I have with Jorginho today is that he gave away the ball 2 or 3 times. But for the rest of the game, I think he did give a few good passes and control the game good a few times. But the problem is that he lost the ball 2 or 3 times in dangerous situations. I don't think it's a 4, though. I think 4 is a bit harsh tactical. Odegaard, I would understand because he was quiet. But Jorginho, we saw him in the game. Like, he made a few tactical fouls here and there. So you have to take that into consideration. Again, I'll rewatch the game and see. I think like SofaScore something. There's a website here that is giving him a 7 out of 10. The absence of Partey and Xhaka is really affecting Odegaard and Zinchenko. You could be right to Bale. I definitely miss Xhaka. And Xhaka's going to Leverkusen and they're top of the Bundesliga as well. And he's playing really well there as well. That's for sure. Zinchenko, I still feel like people talking about him defending, they usually exaggerate too much. I don't think Zinchenko is as bad as Santos or Mustafi or anything like that. But yeah, you could be right because those are 2 very quality players that have dropped in form recently, Odegaard and Zinchenko. Get Eddie out, please. Not good enough, says Tactical. I wasn't happy with this cameo today. I think Rice deserves a 9, says Babatope. I'm watching the highlights right now again, and he was just superb. I'm watching Raya giving away the ball. He was so lucky there, man. Jesus, man of the match, says Babatope. Very, very, very good performance. Very good performance for sure. Like in the Champions League, he's definitely turned up for us. And even against Man City, a few games, even against Everton, he played really well on the wings. So really happy with both of those players. But interesting to see which player people will choose as the man of the match. I will nominate Jesus, Tomiyasu, and also Declan Rice and see which who they're going to vote for. There's a couple of games this season it's been very easy to pick the man of the match. Like against Man United, it was definitely Declan Rice. Against Man City, it was definitely Declan Rice, man of the match. Against Everton, it was Trossard, man of the match. There's a few games that's been so obvious, like who the man of the match was. Even last game against Chelsea, I think Declan Rice was an easy decision. But I think this one is a bit of a hard, and I don't think it's clear. Probably many people would vote for Jesus, but I think Rice and Tomiyasu were great as well today. But the one thing we needed today is to pick up the win. I don't know if I can put up the table. It will take a few seconds to load, but let me see if I can bring up the table and see where we are. Next game is Sheffield United on Saturday. We need to win that game and not 1-0 or 2-0. We need to boost our goal difference. Right away for that game, I want to see Trossard starting against Sheffield United. And as I said, I'd be tempted to rest Rice, but then again, Partey's not there. So another thing we can do is start Saka, start Rice, get 3 goals, then take them off. But if we can't start obviously Smith Rowe, Fabi, all of them, but I want to see at least one of them on the pitch. I want one of them to get a chance. They will probably get a chance in the game against West Ham in the Carabao Cup. I really hope his hamstring isn't injured again. I can't with Eddie up front, put Trossard on the left and Martinelli down the middle. Wow, Martinelli's pace down the middle is very scary. I think that will be very scary for the defenders. He's very quick and very energetic. There's other things like field and making tackles and all that. I think Jesus is very good in terms of that. And Ketek is the only one who can do what Jesus does in terms of like showing like that fight and coming into midfield and making tackles. But I understand what you're saying, Tactical. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea. Let me check the table. Let me show you guys the table. I think we're in a good spot today because if we had lost today, trouble. We'd have been bottom of the table and that would have been trouble. This Jesus goal is so filthy, man. What a goal. That's a fantastic finish. Let's see, table. So yeah, top. We are very lucky that these other teams drew. I'm very, very happy with that. So PSV are bottom of the table. Let me put it on this screen. Let me see. Hopefully you guys can see that. So we are top. Let me take this up. I think you can see all 4 teams now. Yeah, so we are on 6 points. We've scored 7 goals. You have a goal difference of 4. Lens are second with 5. Sevilla 2 and PSV 2. Now we are very lucky. We are very lucky in terms of the draws. Like the other teams have been drawing. Lens has drawn today with PSV. Last time Sevilla drew with PSV. So we are very lucky in terms of that. So because if one of those teams had won, it would have been 6-5-2, 6-5-5-2. So next game is Sevilla at home. You win that game, you're 9 points, and then you hope PSV or Lens draw. Or if PSV beat Lens and you beat Sevilla, you're on 9 points, and number 2 and 3 on 5 points each. And then the next game after that is at home to Lens. So if you win both of those home games, you go into the last game against PSV. You've already booked your spot in the last 16. And you can even afford to rest a few important players for the busy December period. Another reason I don't want us to go into December needing to win the game against PSV in December, we are starting, I think, with Luton. That is good. But I think we're going to play Liverpool in December. We are going to play Aston Villa. We are going to play, I think, Brighton. Those are not easy games in December. So we don't want to also have a Champions League game that is very hard. So finish your job nice and early. Imagine if you had beaten Lens, we'd have been so far ahead and just needed a win the next game. But yes, I think it's good. We are now top of the table. Very good position to be at. And just for the fun of it, let me show you the other groups. Where is Man United? Real Madrid are top with 9 points. Man United, they're in Group A. Man United are so lucky. Like Copenhagen missed a penalty in the last minute. Man United would have been gone. They would have been bottom of the table. I think Bayern Munich will win that game. But I don't think Man United will beat Galatasaray away from home. I'm almost sure of that. But I don't care about Man United. I care about Arsenal, and 6 points out of 9. I think that is good, and I think we have the capability of beating. If we perform like we did against PSV at home, then we will beat Sevilla and we will beat Lens, and we can go through nice and easy before the 6th game. So next game on the weekend, Saturday against Sheffield United. I don't think that is a game where we need to be as wide as we were against Chelsea and today. But hopefully, we don't underestimate them, and we can go there and respect. They can come to a place, respect them, and still get 5 goals at least, boost our goal difference. That Jesus goal was so beautiful, amazing, man. It was all his work. Also, Ghana says Naomi. So I appreciate you guys watching. We've been going for 54 minutes. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think, with the preview for the next game. Ubale says it's like Jesus enjoys playing Champions League more than Premier League. I hope his injury is minor. He has the experience for it for sure. He has the experience for the Champions League, so that is a benefit to us. We don't have a lot of players who've played in the Champions League before. There's 2 winners in Havertz and Jorginho. They've both won the Champions League before, and then there's players who've played a lot, like Jesus and Zinchenko and players like that. But Rice, first season. Martinelli today, first game in the Champions League. I'm seeing Jesus' turn again. Oh, that is so beautiful and such a well-timed run. And Martinelli, this finish just incredible. So happy that you got that win. Let's wait for our weekend's game. I'll put the poll on the community tab in the next 2 minutes, so make sure to check the community tab and vote for your man of the match. If you're watching on Facebook, check the YouTube. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Ake, for watching, and thank you for the super chat. Catch up with you guys on the next one.